Imagine a world where pirates, not kings, ruled the seas, a concept once thought impossible. In the early 18th century, a radical experiment unfolded in the heart of the Caribbean. This was a place where the black flag flew not just over individual ships, but over an entire nation, defying all conventional maritime authority. This wasn't just a band of rogue sailors. This was the Pirate Republic, a self-governing haven forged by the most notorious buccaneers of all time. How did these outlaws, often depicted as bloodthirsty villains, manage to establish their own sovereign territory? A true anomaly? It began in Nassau, a strategic port nestled in the Bahamas, which became an irresistible magnet for pirates seeking refuge, riches, and a completely new way of life, far from European control. Here, away from the iron fist of empires, they didn't just raid and pillage, they actively built a society with its own unique laws and customs. A surprising form of democracy began to emerge among their ranks, along with a distinct code of conduct that, for a time, defied the world's most powerful navies, challenging their dominance. This is the untold story of how a collection of rebels, united by a common desire for freedom and fortune, carved out their own country, a daring act of defiance. Their audacious actions reshaped the course of maritime history, leaving an indelible mark on the annals of the sea. Nassau, with its natural harbor and strategic location, offered an ideal base for their burgeoning enterprise. Ships could easily slip in and out, evading patrols, while the shallow waters protected them from larger naval vessels. The town itself transformed from a sleepy colonial outpost into a bustling, lawless metropolis, teeming with adventurers. Every tavern echoed with boisterous laughter, clinking tankards, and the constant exchange of information about passing merchant ships. Pirates from all corners of the globe converged there, bringing with them diverse cultures and shared grievances. They were united by a common disdain for the oppressive monarchies and the harsh conditions of legitimate naval service. In this crucible of rebellion, a new identity was forged, one that prioritized liberty and self-governance above all else. They elected their captains, a stark contrast to appointed naval officers, and established articles of agreement for their voyages. These articles dictated fair distribution of plunder and provided compensation for injuries sustained in battle. It was a rudimentary but effective form of social contract, binding them together in their shared, perilous endeavors. The Republic was a beacon for those seeking escape from tyranny, a place where former slaves and indentured servants could find freedom. It was a melting pot of nationalities and backgrounds, all united under the banner of the skull and crossbone. Yet, this audacious experiment was inherently fragile, a direct challenge to the established world order and its powers. The very existence of the Pirate Republic was an affront to the empires that claimed dominion over the vast oceans. But for a glorious, fleeting period, Nassau thrived, a testament to the human spirit's yearning for independence. It was a place where the impossible became reality, where outlaws built a nation from the ground up. Their story is not merely one of plunder and violence, but of a radical social and political experiment. It forces us to reconsider the conventional narratives of history and the true nature of freedom and rebellion. The Pirate Republic, though short-lived, left an enduring legacy, a powerful symbol of defiance against overwhelming odds. It forever changed our understanding of pirates and their world. Having established their audacious haven in Nassau, the Pirate Republic was more than just a collection of renegade ships. It was a burgeoning society, albeit one built on the fringes of legality and order. Within its chaotic yet surprisingly structured walls, legendary figures like Blackbeard, Charles Vane, and Calico Jack weren't just captains. They were, in a very real sense, architects of a new world. These formidable leaders, far from being mere marauders, established a system that defied the conventional hierarchies of the time. Captains, for instance, were not appointed by distant monarchs or inherited their positions. They were elected by their crews, a radical form of democracy unheard of in the navies of established empires. This electoral process ensured a degree of accountability and fostered a unique bond between leader and led. Furthermore, the distribution of loot, often a source of contention and mutiny in other maritime ventures, was handled with a surprising degree of fairness. Detailed articles of agreement, signed by every crew member, dictated the exact shares each man would receive, from the captain down to the lowliest cabin boy, ensuring a crude but effective form of economic justice. Among their ranks, a rough and ready form of justice prevailed, often administered by the crew itself, addressing disputes and maintaining a semblance of order in their lawless domain. Life in Nassau during this period was a vibrant, dangerous tapestry woven with threads of adventure and peril. The air thrummed with the boisterous sounds of taverns overflowing with rum and raucous laughter, where tales of daring raids and narrow escapes were exchanged. Alliances were forged and broken with equal swiftness, as the ever-shifting loyalties of pirate life played out. Betrayals were not uncommon, adding a constant undercurrent of tension to the bustling port. Yet, beneath the revelry and intrigue, there was the constant, exhilarating hum of adventure, the promise of the open sea and untold riches always beckoning. However, such a brazen challenge to the established global powers, particularly the formidable British Empire, could not, by its very nature, last indefinitely. The audacity of an independent pirate state, operating with impunity in the heart of the Caribbean, was an affront that London could not and would not tolerate. The British Empire, determined to reassert its dominion over the crucial trade routes, dispatched Woodes Rogers, a shrewd and experienced former privateer, to Nassau. Rogers, now appointed governor of the Bahamas, arrived with a clear and uncompromising mandate: dismantle the pirate republic and restore British authority. What followed was a brutal and calculated campaign designed to systematically dismantle the pirate haven. Rogers offered a general pardon to any pirate who surrendered, a strategic move that sowed division among their ranks. Many, weary of the constant danger and longing for a semblance of legal life, accepted the king's mercy. But for those who refused, for the unrepentant and the defiant, the consequences were dire. Executions became a grim spectacle, serving as a stark warning to any who dared to continue their piratical ways. The gallows stood as a chilling symbol of the crown's unwavering resolve. Rogers' relentless pursuit of the remaining pirates, coupled with the strategic pardons, gradually eroded the foundations of the pirate republic. The once thriving haven slowly but surely succumbed to the might of the British Empire. Ultimately, this extraordinary experiment in self-governance, born of rebellion and fueled by dreams of freedom, was brought to an end. Yet, the legacy of the Pirate Republic endures, etched into the annals of maritime history. It forever changes our understanding of pirates, moving beyond simplistic portrayals of bloodthirsty villains. The story of Nassau forces us to ask a more nuanced question. Were they merely criminals, driven by greed and a disregard for law? Or were they, in their own audacious and rebellious way, revolutionaries? They were men who dared to challenge the established order, to forge their own destiny, and to create a society, however fleeting, built on principles of election and shared wealth. Their brief, brilliant flame of independence continues to fascinate and provoke thought, reminding us that history is rarely as simple as conquerors and conquered. The Pirate Republic stands as a testament to the human desire for freedom, even if that freedom was found on the high seas, under the ominous shadow of the Black Flag. But the story doesn't end with its fall. The echoes of this audacious experiment reverberated through time, shaping the very myths and legends that define piracy today. The ideals of liberty and self-governance, however flawed in their execution, left an indelible mark on the collective imagination, influencing future rebellions and narratives. The Pirate Republic, though short-lived, proved that even in the most lawless corners of the world, humans yearned for a society built on their own terms, free from distant rulers, Its dramatic rise and fall serve as a powerful reminder that power structures can be challenged, and that even the most formidable empires can be momentarily defied by the spirit of independence. What truly defines a pirate? Was it simply a life of crime, or a radical pursuit of freedom? Thank you for joining with us on this journey into the heart of the Pirate Republic. If you love uncovering the hidden corners of history, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. See you next time.